What's up, guys? Welcome to Southern Hike. I'm Taylor, and today I got a big one. This is a big video because this is hard for me when I go backpacking. This is why I do most of my summer backpacking out west. I do not deal with heat well. I am a huge sweater when I go backpacking, and sleeping in it, living in it is just not my thing. Down here in the South, as you can tell from my accent, it gets very hot, and this has been a very hot summer, and humidity goes through the roof. And I love to backpack, but I don't want to be miserable and backpack. There's a thing as, what did they say? Embrace the suck. Yes, it's gonna suck, but sometimes it's just not worth it when you're miserable. So today's video, guys, we're gonna talk about some things I've learned, things I've learned from others. There's some good tips, some good ways to not be miserable in the summer backpacking in the summer heat. Now, if you're out west, humidity's not that big of a deal. Still can get pretty hot. So some of these tips can still be useful. This definitely is useful too if you deal with the southern humidity or anywhere where the humidity just goes up. So guys, we're gonna go ahead and get straight into it and go ahead and go through some of these tips, and maybe these things can be helpful to you. And if you have something that I missed, maybe you can mention it in the comments. I'd love to hear what you found to be a helpful way to stay cool and stay comfortable in the summer heat when you go backpacking. First on the list, now this is a big one. I just did a video on it. I'll make sure to link it. Your clothing is one of the biggest things that can make you comfortable in the summertime heat and still enjoy your time. I just went on a trip recently. Now, I'm sure this person doesn't do much hiking, period, but they were day hiking, and the guy was wearing a pair of blue jeans and a pair of cowboy boots. And it was probably in the mid 80s, and I was like, oh my God, I'd be absolutely miserable. And if I was doing that, I'd probably never come back out here again. So guys, those are things to consider. To make sure you study to get the right type of material, to wear material that wicks well. Merino wool is very useful. I love merino wool. It does wear out, but it's one of the things that kind of keep moisture off of you. Or a good synthetic works great to keep that off of you. Neck gaiters work well to kind of keep the moisture pulled away from you. And then just proper all around gear. I'm not gonna really get into it in this video, but all that to say, this is the first thing, is to make sure you're wearing the proper attire or clothing for summer backpacking, just to allow you to breathe easy and keep moisture off of you. Second thing, now we talk about quilts and how they can have foot boxes, but they can unzip and open up. Sleeping bags can trap in a lot, and they're great for wintertime. I'm not hating on sleeping bags because I still like a sleeping bag in the winter, but in the summertime, they can be very hot, especially if you only have a lower temperature sleeping bag. At 20 to 30 degree and 89 degrees, you're just gonna fry alive. So all that to say, quilts are an awesome thing because you can unzip them. Unless it's a sewn foot box, you can open up the foot box on a quilt and turn it into just like a blanket. And then also online, there is some awesome down 50 to 60 degree quilts that you can buy, like even on Amazon, that work great for the summertime. They pack down easy, they're light, and then you can kind of keep your legs opened up if you need some more air. That's what I do, is just kind of keep it over my body. I do like the security of it, but at the same time, I still need to be able to breathe. But check those out. There's some great options as far as keeping yourself covered up if you're like me for summertime backpacking. Third thing, now a lot of people do this, a lot of people don't. It's another sense of security thing, is to not put your rain fly on your tent. If you got a freestanding tent, take your rain fly off and basically open it up where the wind can move through, the tent can breathe. When you have that rain fly on, especially in the wintertime, it's great for it. Can trap a lot of heat and moisture, and it can be almost more humid inside of your tent in the middle of the summer times. I've done multiple times where I did leave it on because it was rain inside of my tent. It was super humid, got out, and I was like, wow, the air is a lot drier to here. So my body was just putting out a lot of moisture, and I was just trapping a lot of moisture from the ground coming up underneath that rain fly. So if you don't mind not having the privacy, take your rain fly off. That makes sure that you can air out better in the summer. All right, speaking of airing out in your tent, creating a draft in your tent is another great thing to do. If you have a constant wind moving at night, or if you're in a valley and the wind's tunneling a certain way, make sure that if you have your vestibules open, you're allowing air to flow through there to keep that moisture out. So if you want to keep your rain fly on, but open your vestibules up and making sure that you're creating a draft, I promise that is another way to keep it where you stay cooler when you're trying to sleep in the summer weather. All right, this is a controversial one. I've hinted that I'm dabbling in this one myself this year, but a lot of people say it works out great for them and they still need a quilt even in the summertime, but using a hammock. You can even get a cold butt even in really high temperatures. Been there, done that, learned when I was younger. But a hammock is a great way to try to enjoy yourself, to sleep well even in the summer heat. And you can kind of control your quilt and how it's hanging to kind of open it up to allow a draft. But at the same time, consider keeping something to cover your rear up, because you still can kind of get cool because it lifts you up off the ground. And so those night winds can still cool you off of too much. But a hammock is a great way to stay cool in the wintertime as far as trying to sleep. Another one. Now, this one is surprisingly, a lot of people don't think about it, but R value in your sleeping pad can work against you in the summertime. If you've got an R value of 3 or 4 up to 5, I'm telling you, in summer heat, it can really work against you. You kind of want to keep a minimum R value because the earth temperature, you know, it can, I don't know, I've slept on the bare ground, but people say that the earth's temperature can kill you off too much. But honestly, I think just keeping an R value around 1 to 2 is a great way to try to keep cooler in the summer, but at the same time to be careful not to use a high R value, because that can just make you miserable because it's doing its job by reflecting the heat up and just making you feel worse as far as trying to sleep in a higher temperature. Last thing, and this is not more, I've hit a lot of these for sleeping because a lot of people, this is the problem for summer backpacking. But last thing on the list is bug spray. It's important to find a bug spray that does not irritate you. And if you're really, you know, eco-friendly, find something that's friendly to you, friendly to the environment, but also works. That's an important thing. Me personally, you know, I'll use something with some DEET in it. Keeping the ticks and mosquitoes off of you is one way to not be miserable. I was just on a trip where some of the biggest ticks I've ever seen. And then mosquitoes in some spots were really big. So keeping bug spray was really important to make the nights enjoyable at camp and not be frustrated because I was scratching myself the whole time. So guys, these are all tips that I hope that you can use these, enjoy these, and these can be beneficial to you. I know these are things that have kept my summer trips more enjoyable, even when the high heat and humidity is through the roof. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to hit the like button. That's one of the easiest ways to support us and our channel. We just want to say thank you for being here, and I hope that these tips could help you. Again, make sure to leave some comments if I left some things out. There's plenty of other things too. I just know these are some big highlights I found useful as far as dealing with the summer heat, and just want to make it where you can backpack in the summer and enjoy yourself. Guys, this is our weekly video. We do a video every Thursday. I hope you enjoy this one. And we are in the deepest part of the summer right now. So I am not in the woods here in our local area, but we are kind of still venturing out areas where we can and doing some day hikes. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and we will see you next week.